Hey, welcome to how I got my first job with no zero experience. Do not click the close button. I'm going to share with you today 5 steps on how you can get a job with zero experience. Of course, why I am an IT support engineer currently, a senior IT support engineer in Amazon here in Germany. There are 5 steps that I'm going to share with you that you can get that job with zero experience. Of course, why focus on IT? However, these steps are very applicable to all levels or all kinds of careers that you are pursuing. And so let me share with you already my screen. There's 5 beautiful steps on how you can get that zero experience with zero experience a job. Now, but there are things first we want to consider. Why is it that getting jobs are difficult these days? Have you asked yourself that question? It is true that it could be that you've sent quite a heap of applications to companies. Every day you run through internet to search for open vacancies and you've sent un, unnumbered applications to companies. And all you hear is, we are sorry. Or not even, sometimes you get no reply. It could be that you've got a zero experience or job experience per se. And it's why? Why is it so difficult to get a job? Now, we will look again at what companies and HR, what do they want from you? What do they want on your profile? And the last part we will look is the 5 points to that career, to that goal, to that thing you're pursuing. What are the 5 points you could look forward to? What are the 5 steps that you could use? Now, let's start by considering why jobs are getting so difficult to pick your profile. Somehow it is not their fault. What you see here, I just picked an example of a picture of the growing rate of companies that you might are familiar with. For example, you have 17 United States companies. Apple, you're very familiar with it. Microsoft, Alphabet, Cisco, Oracle. Now, these are huge companies. Now, my point I want to show out from this is that now, if you look at the margin, for example, from Coca-Cola down to Johnson and Johnson, which is the last. And what you notice is that the margins are quite very relative. Now, it's meaning that these companies are working with so much challenges. They are trying to boost the market. They are trying to grow their own market because there is a lot of challenge, a lot of competition in the market. And so every company have a relative competitor. Look, for example, again, from General Electric to Gilead Sciences, also relative margins. Competitors, they're fighting each other. Who wants to be the best? Who wants to bring out the best? Apple is going so far. You could see they are running ahead. However, it has also its competitor, Microsoft, and other companies are fighting. Now, in summary, now why jobs are difficult to get is that there is a lot of competition in these companies, in all companies. And this company needs that person to feel, to cover that margin in between the competition. They are looking for that person to fill in that gap. There is a lot of gaps that are making Apple run faster than Microsoft. Microsoft is looking for those kinds of minds, those kinds of people that have that gap to fit that gap. And another reason is that while you apply, there are quite a numbers of applicants. There are numbered applicants who are sending at the same time applications for this job. And so, and how you present and what you can offer is what puts you on the scale of preference. It's what puts you, or you put your profile up at vision. Now, the next point is what companies and HR, what do they want from you? Just look at this car, beautiful and expensive car. Let's assume this car is what, $50,000. Of course, I mean not the car without the tires, but the complete car. Now, this car, for example, is worth $50,000 with a new brand complete tires or complete parts. Now, you as a person or as a company, when you want to buy this car in this picture without tires, now something happens. Value loses. The car loses value. Now, it is not because the car engine is not functional or that the car has scratches or the car is beyond repair, but because the car loses some parts, some profiles in the car are missing. And so because of this, the car loses value and become somehow worthless. But could imagine if the tire comes back, the owner could sell this car back with $50,000. An incomplete profile is like going to a job dressed like this guy you see on the screen. I think you're very familiar with this guy. Those of you who play games, this is the God of War. It's like you could imagine if you are HR, you're interviewing someone and he dressed like this to your company for an interview. Now, how do you feel? Now, my point is that an incomplete profile is the problem. You're not getting that job. Remember the point. There is a lot of competition in the job industry, in the labor work, and companies, HRs, managers are looking for that guy that fills that profile. They are looking for that guy, that woman that completes the company's profile. Now, the question will be, how can you complete the company profile? And it is even now more challenging to complete this profile, especially when you have zero experience. Now, this is where our focus on today is. How can you create that profile? How can you get that job with zero experience? Now, let's look at the 5 steps that I have used to gain my first job as an IT field engineer. Now, the first step we want to consider is know the you. Now, how do you know the you? You want to know what you are interested in. You do not want to focus your career on something because your colleagues, your peers, your friends, your relatives, your father are insisting that you do this, or because your own best friend is pushing his career towards this area, or he's putting his focus on this career and he's making ways, he's paving ways for himself, and you think that yes, this is the right career for me. No, know the you. Now start to find where you can easily establish your strength. If you're a person who likes technology, who likes how things works, scale out. What part of technology do I like? Do I like engineering? Do I like IT? Now, if I like IT, now what part of IT do I like? Do I like engineering IT? Do I like programming? Do I like software engineer? Do I like something, another area, or help desk, for example, how to troubleshoot problems in IT? If I like engineering, is it production? Is it mechanical? Is it electrical? Now, this is my point. Focus your strength on what you know is best for you. Never follow friends, never follow peers. Remember, you only know what you know, just like you see on that picture. You only know what you know. You know. Definitely, you know. Now, that's the first point. Now, you might think this is a regular point, but this is the most important point. Now, a lot of people have found this even influences your interviews. The HR sees it when you have, they know that you are forcing yourself for this career. When you have strong interest and passion for what you are pursuing, trust me, you do not even have to convince HRs and companies and managers that you love this role. They see it in you. How you talk and how you put yourself, it comes automatically when you find that interest in what you do. Step one, know the you. Now, step two, this is the time to work on the you. How do you work on the you? You've just graduated or you've got some certificate, professional certificate. Well, HR, of course, do not focus their 100% profiling on your degrees, on your certificate. Of course, these are important in your careers later, maybe to run further into senior levels positions in companies. Yes, these are quite important. But trust me, the first thing HR sees or look towards is what can you offer along with your certificate? What are your experience? This is what they look out for. Do you got the experience? Any HRO who looks at your certificate first is not a HRO. Any manager who looks at where did you go to universities, Oxford, okay, who takes this preference first, who takes educational background preference first for a job entry is not a manager. Now, the first thing they look at is what are your profiles? What can you offer? What experience do you have? Now, this is where the problem comes in, most of us. We are applying as entry level, or we are applying for jobs that have required 2, 5, 10 years experiences, but we have zero experience. Now, the point is, how can you build your experience? Work on the you. Now, a simple practical way you can do is you can build your own job experience in your house, in the comfort of your room. You might wonder, how is this possible? Yes, it is very possible. Become an expert in your field. I give you a simple example. For example, I want to work as a help desk engineer, an IT help desk support engineer. And as an IT help desk support engineer, I know definitely that I need to know how to troubleshoot simple IT problems. For example, Office 365. I should be able to troubleshoot Office 365. I should be able to understand some cloud in Office 365. I should be able to understand some users and group policies and privileges and password problems and all of these in Office 365. Now, this is where it starts. Now, know what you need to do. There are beautiful platforms that you could learn from. I learned my first job experience from on the internet. We're living in an era where information is totally free. Back then in the 90s, in the 80s, you pay a huge amount for information. But today, with just one click, you get huge information that should be secret, but you get this free of charge and you can make use of this information. See, look at YouTube videos, for example, practical YouTube videos that teaches you how to do, how to troubleshoot. For example, I have on my channel, I've started to build how to configure routers, Cisco switches, understanding complete network, IT networking. You could gain this experience, not just learning. Now, you want to start to build labs in your own home. You can build either virtual labs or you can build real physical laboratories in your home. For example, if you are working towards networking, now you should have an idea of how does router works. How do you configure routers in the first initial configurations of routers and switches? How do you run cables? How do you crypt cables? How do you, what kind of, now, You could even decide to buy cheap routers and switches and start to run configurations in your home. Now, this is building that virtual experience that we're talking about. You could build that virtual experience that could pull you up to that level. Become an expert in your field. Very important. Educate yourself. Take classes, attend workshops, get certificates and diplomas. Of course, these are not so important, but if you have to earn a degree, uh, do it. But however, after this degree, get the practical expertise on your field. Watch YouTubes. See how people who are in this field, how they deal with their daily challenge and build that virtual experience. Do not forget, you could join even blogs. You could join groups offline and both online. Try to become an expert on your field. Build an experience from your from the comfort of your home. That is the second point. Now, the third point you want to do is have a story for you. Now, you've got what you are interested in. You've started to build an experience on what you are interested in. Now, how do you write down your goals? What do you look forward to in the next few years? What are your goals toward this? Be sincere. Do not pursue career because of money. Pursue career because of interest, and money will pursue your interest. That's the point. I have worked for little or no pay for certain jobs just to gain experience. And this is the point. Now, the third step is have a story for you. Try to create a story for you. Now, the third step is you want to write a CV for you. Now, there's much about this CV, writing a CV for you, which I would put another video on how you could write a virtual companies, why you could create a virtual experience on your CV. Now, you've got the experience from the comfort of your home. Now, how can you write a CV? Write out what you can do as job experiences. Do not forget, pay much attention on job experience. Write out what you can do. Now, if possible, you could write out what you can do in bold letters, in bigger font. When the HR sees your profile, he knows that these are your strengths, well bolded. He knows that this is what you can do. Now, these experiences are what you've gained from the comfort of your home. You've learned it, you are confident in it. For example, of course, you cannot be 100% confident. For example, if you are working as an IT support engineer, there are different tasks and tickets you get every day that are brain consuming. However, the main point is you need to know, what do I need to know in this career? Get an experience on how to deal with simple troubleshooting tasks on this career. Create a virtual company in your CV. Now, this is a big one, which definitely I already said, mentioned that I would show you again in another short video how you can create virtual companies in your CV. Focus on your skills on the CV. I've already mentioned that. Bolding what you can do, bolding your strength, so that when you face, for example, the interview, you're called for an interview, you can have that strength on your skills of what you have on your profile. Now, the main summary of this step 4 is you can create a virtual experience. Now, the fifth one that you want to take note of, do not lie about you. Now, of course, it is very important to add subtitles to your career. It is very important to sweeten your experiences and your profile. It is very important. But there's something you must never do. Never exaggerate what you cannot do. Never expatiate on that part where you cannot do. Know your limitation. Never lie. Now, a lot of people have faced problems in their career because of this. Because you get a job, of course, your profile it's interesting, and HR or the company or the manager calls you into job and you've got the job. Now the first month is going to be misery for you because you've got nothing to show for it. You've got nothing in the head. It's like you got to start from the beginning, and this will show. And so don't forget, build that experience from your home, but don't lie about what you cannot do. Keep your focus on your strength. Now, these are the 5 steps. It works for me. It worked for people out there. And I know it's going to work for you. There are a lot of people who are intelligent. Why am I showing this? A lot of people who are intelligent, who are capable, but the competition is hiding them. Of course, we know your certificate does not show you what you are capable of doing. That's why you need to move one step ahead of your competitors. You must be relatively ahead of that margin of those competitors. And this 5 step will help you to reach that dream job. Do not forget, I got my first job with a zero experience with applying this. I created a virtual experience for myself and I got the job. And you can do the same too. I currently now work as a senior IT support engineer with Amazon. And of course, day by day, it is quite challenging, but it is beautiful. I know you can do it. In my next video, I will going to emphasize on how you can also write a virtual experience on your CV. Do not forget, I am also uploading daily or weekly videos of practical networking on IT, help desk, everything about IT. I'm uploading programming. I will be uploading on my channel and I will be putting practical real life situation of how to, for example, configure and troubleshoot problems on IT. I hope you subscribe to my channel and thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget, it's totally free of charge. I'm starting this channel and I'm expecting before 3 months, 1,000 subscribers. And I hope to see you subscribing. Thanks for watching and do not also forget to click on the notification buttons. Thanks. This is Odysseus, IT guy. Bye.